What you guys, got another video here for you on the Windows 11 start menu you've always wanted. A lot of people always ask me about my start menu and how I created it, and I wanted to make a full video showing the steps that I took to basically create what you're seeing right here on the screen. Now, I have made a video on this particular software before, but I've never made a full complete tutorial on how to do it. So first off, you're going to need to get Start 11. This is not a free piece of software, but it is pretty reasonably priced, and you can try it for free right here by downloading it. So we're going to be using the free version because I've already got a paid version here, but for a single license it is £7.49. Now for that price you get a lifetime license and you get basically all of the updates for that particular software, and it doesn't cost you anything once you've paid. So we're going to go ahead and download it and get it installed on the system. Now, I personally use Start 11. I've been using it for many years, and it is probably my go-to software to change the start menu on Windows 11, because Windows 11 start menu is absolutely hideous. It really is. And this just makes it much more usable. So let's go ahead and go through the motions here and get it installed on the system. Now, once it's installed, it's going to ask you for your email address, and this is because it is a 30-day trial. So click on Start 30-day trial, put your email address in there, and then go to your email account and activate your software, just like I did here. Now you can align on the left or center. So I'm going to line it on the left-hand side here. And once we've got that, we're now starting off in the start menu itself. So the first thing to do is choose your start menu style that you want to use. For instance, you've got Windows 7 style, you've got modern style, and you've got also Windows 10 style right here. And we have Windows 11 style. And we also have the one down here called Windows App Style. And we also have the Windows Pro style and Windows Launcher. So Windows Launcher is this one. And the Windows Pro style is the one that I use for my particular system. Now, it looks big and bulky at the moment, but don't worry, you can customize all of these menus to your own liking. So we're going to be working on the Windows Pro style. First off, we're going to choose some shortcuts. Now, these will add shortcuts to your start menu, and these are useful if you use these items all the time. For instance, if you use, say, for instance, the Windows Terminal, you can click on Add, and you can see standard location here. And this will give you the app that you want to add. For instance, whether it's Windows Terminal, whether it's Command Prompt, or whether it's any of the other items that you might want to use. So I use Windows Terminal quite a bit. So I'm going to click on that one right there. And we're also going to add in another one. So let's go ahead and add one more in here called Command Prompt. So these are the ones that are adding on the left-hand side right here. So when I open the menu up, you'll see they've been added to my list. You can customize it the way you like and add whatever you want on your list, but that's what I generally do here. Here we have some filtered folders. We're not going to be touching that. And this is where we can customize and configure the visual appearance of our menu. Now, again, this is entirely up to you, but for me, my eyesight isn't as good as it used to be, so I'm just going to change a lot of these sizes to my liking and preference. You can choose whatever sizes you want on your particular menu because it is your menu at the end of the day, and you can set it up the way you like. But that's the way I'm going to have mine set right here. So what we've got here now is we're going to have a look here, and this is for the 100% of the original size right here. I'm going to leave that as is, and we can now move on down to the next area, which is here, which is your solid color or solid type of percentage that you want to have. So we'll leave that as is on that setting. Next, go down to change visual effects on the menu, and this is going to give you a bunch of other settings that you can mess around with. So if you want to change some of these, this is where you can find them right here. So there's one right here. So offset the menu from the taskbar, and we're going to have this to always, and we're going to come on down and have a look at some other areas. So you can use a background on your menu if you want to by toggling that on right there. I'm not going to use a background on my menu because I'm going to change the colors to my own liking. So let's go back and go back to the main page here. come on down to where it says advanced options, and here we can change the shortcut icons size to something a bit larger for myself. But again, you can have these small. Some people have these really tiny. I prefer to have them large so I can see them more clearly because my eyesight is not as good. So there we go. That's now done. And down here, we've got some other extra optional add-ons that we can just toggle on. So you can see here, hide the search box if you want to, and there's a bunch of other stuff here. So you can reduce the size of the right-hand side, and that's exactly what I want to do here. So let me show you what that does. When you open the start menu up, it's reduced that little menu size right here where the items are on here. It's just made it a bit smaller. So we're going to change that and make it a bit smaller. Next, we're going to go down onto the taskbar section, and this is where you can customize your taskbar. So we'll deal with the color later on once we've chosen our color, but you can show the seconds on the taskbar if you want to by putting that little rocker button on there right here. And we'll deal with the blur, transparency and color a little bit later on, but I'll just show you them here. This is where you're going to pick your color and do your solid or transparency right here to adjust the transparency of your taskbar. If you like it translucent, you would obviously reduce the transparency right here. So now we've got that found out right there. What we're going to do is move on to the next section, and that is customizing our menu tabs and things like that. But all of this we'll come back to a little bit later on. But there is some other things in here like taskbar pins, which we're not going to cover in this video because I don't use this area. Search here as well. You can have a little look inside there if there's something that you want to customize in this area right here. But I generally don't touch any of this sort of stuff right here. And we also have a clear search history, and we also have used the old style, Windows 10 style right there as well. We have also control here, and this is where you can make some other optional changes. And there is the about page, and this is where you can buy your Start 11 once you've used it for 30 days, and you can choose whether you like it or not. So let's just change the size of this by grabbing all of it on the side here and dragging this in so we can make it as small as possible. There we go. And that's how I like to have mine, about that sort of size. Now, if you want to change the height, you can do. You can make it shorter or you can make it taller, depending on how you like yours. Maybe you want it short and fat or long and tall and skinny. It's entirely up to you. So what we're going to do now is add our tabs on the actual main page here. So right click here and go new. And what we're going to do is add a new tab in here. So this is the area where we can add a new tab. So we can rename this one right here because we already have one on here by default. So let's go ahead and just quickly change this to something that I use, say for instance, miscellaneous. Now we need to add more tabs up the top. So I'm going to go new and we're going to add tab and add a blank tab right here. And now we can rename that tab to something that we want to use. For instance, I'm going to call this something else. I'm going to call this, let's just say, for instance, we want to call this tools. And this will be all my tools that I use on my system. Now, you can call yours whatever you like, but there's now two tabs which make it very useful because we can add our programs and shortcuts into these areas. Let's rename this one on the second line here. And we're going to call this something else. So we can call this, for instance, internet. And we don't want to use capitals, so let's just go back, turn the capitals off and call this internet. This will be where my browser and things like that will be, and some other tools that I use for internet related stuff. Let's add another tab. And I'm going to call this one, say for instance, security. And this will be all my security stuff like VPN, antivirus programs and things like that. We can add another tab here. And we can call this whatever we like. So let's go ahead and call this, say, for instance, games. And this could be where all my games are, for shortcuts for my games. So I can just click on them. Down the bottom, we can create another tab right here. So now we've sectioned this off into 3 areas. So let's quickly rename this right here. And we can call this productivity. And this can be all my Photoshop and all my other stuff that I do with my productivity, like Camtasia and things like that, all inside that area. Let me quickly rename this one here so you get a general idea of how we're going to organize it a bit better so we can access all of our stuff really quick. This could be my benchmark. This can be CPU Z, also GPU Z, and also a bunch of other benchmark software that I might want to add in there. Now, this area right here, this is where we've now got our tabs, and we've now got our little areas right here, which we can now organize and put our programs in. So let's go ahead and add a program in here so you can basically see how you're going to do it. So inside here, we're going to go new and go down here. You can either pin a website here, pin a folder, pin a file, but we want to pin an installed application. Now, I'm on a virtual machine here, but I've got a couple of little applications just to show you, and I'll put this one right in here. Next, let's add one in for our tools, and I'll quickly go in here and I'll add what I want to add inside here. So inside here, we're going to go new, pinned installed application, and in our tools area, we can say, for instance, add calculator and notepad and all that stuff if you wanted to. We're just using this as an example. So let's go ahead and add in here, say, for instance, let's see what we got here. Because we're on a fresh install here, there's not much here, but you get the general idea. So let's just assume we fill these up with all our applications. You can drag and drop from one to the other like so, which will help you organize them a bit better once you've added them in. So let's go ahead now and add one more in. We've got a backup program here. We've got Windows security inside the security area, and we're pretty much good. But you get the general idea on how to add your applications in, just like I've shown you. So now let's color coordinate everything with the appearance tab here. And this is where you can change the colors of your theme. For instance, maybe you want to use some different colors here. This is where you can change all of the colors right here. So choose the color that you like to use for your little tabs. And the way I do mine is I change the main start menu background color, and then I change the tabs to the same color but slightly different opacity or transparency or even color. So you'll get the general idea. So we've got some colors here. Let's go ahead and change the appearance. I'm going to try to go for something like a blue theme here just to show you, and we can now choose a color. You can see solid color here. You can change the transparency of it to make it a little bit more translucent. If you want to do that, you can do. And you can even put a background texture in for these as well. If you like to have some sort of textures, you can do. Let me just quickly add one of these right here. There's quite a few of them here if you want to add some sort of texture to it. So let's go ahead and add one of these textures. So you can see it. There we go. And we've added a texture to that right now. Okay, so to remove it, all you need to do is go in here and reset to default, and that will remove the texture. Okay, so now you know how to create your tabs and how to create your transparency on these and how to change the color to them, and also add backgrounds, sort of filters to them. And we can also now change the icon styling of this as well. You can go tiny, small, medium, large, extra large, depending on how you want to set yours up. You can enable text shadows, and you can also do icon tinting, which is a really nice little unique feature, which allows you to color coordinate all of your icons with your background colors. You can see it's made them all blue. And this is how you can tie all of this in to make it look really nice once you've got the color and theme set out for your build and how you like to do yours. So whether you like black dark themes or whether you like colorful themes, you can set it all up inside Start 11, just like I'm showing you right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll get our colors picked out here, and we'll go ahead and change it. You can see I've set it all to gray and black. If you like that type of dark black gray theme, you can do that right here. Now, because we have dark mode enabled inside Windows, you can go into your personalization, and inside here you've got your colors. You can see it's set to dark. So I can set this to light right here if I wanted to, and this will make it a lot lighter. And now we can change the colors to whatever we like. People always have a little bit of trouble changing the taskbar color with the start menu. I'll also show you how to synchronize those so they look a lot nicer. So we're going to go back into our menu here. And what we're going to do is we're going to first go into our start menu, and we're going to go into pick a color. And you can now choose a color for your start menu. So you can have the start menu color and the tab color, which is going to be two different colors that we're going to be using. I'm going to turn off this use automatic color from the start menu, and we're basically going to choose our own two colors here. So you can pick two colors, and you can see what's happened there. We now have two colors set on here. So choose the color that you like. I'm going to go for something a little bit more darker. We can have some sort of green or teal colors. We've got all sorts of colors here, and you can use custom colors as well. If you want to go to a color picker on some sort of website and choose the color theme there, you can make the brightness and darkness on here, and this will change the outlook of the actual start menu. So let's go ahead and we'll now color these. So this is where you're going to deal with the colors right here, and then we can choose the icons afterwards. So I'm going to go ahead and do this nice blue color, and I'm going to go appearance, and we're going to change the actual tab right here to a different color. And I don't like that color so much, so we're going to change this a little bit and just make it a little bit more different, a bit more darker, because it's a little bit blue. But you get the general idea, and you can take a little bit longer than what I'm doing to actually customize it. So pick a color right here. If you have the hue, satin, lum colors or the red, green and blue color numbers, you can use those as well to get the right colors that you want for your particular menu. So now we've got these right here. Let's go ahead, and I'm just going to tweak this a little bit more here, and we can move on to the next step. And you can change these numbers here so you get them all synchronized. So I'm going to stick with what we've got right here. And all I need to do now is copy that color all the way through all the other tabs that I have, so it's all color coordinated. It's quite simple. We're just going to go into here and change these numbers to all of the same in all of the tabs, like you see what I'm doing right here on the appearance. Go to pick a color, and we're going to use the hue, satin, lum colors right here. And these are the same numbers on all of them. So now we've got that done, and it should look something like that. And your colors might be totally different, but there we go. And you can change the transparency if you want to, but I'm going to leave it like this. Now let's change the icon coloring, tinting color to something else, so we can have these blue as well. So when you change this blue, might make that a little bit more lighter. I'm going to go for the next blue color up, one of these, and there we go. And we can now copy that all the way across to all of our icons, so we'll have them all of the same color, and it will add that nice blue theme or whatever theme that you're using on your particular start menu. Okay, so now we've got our start menu done, but our taskbar looks completely different, and we need to change that. So let me go ahead and show you how we can change that. So inside the actual application, we're going to go to Configure Start 11. Inside here, we're going to go to the taskbar setting, and you can make some changes right here. If you want to make some changes, this is where you're going to change them for the taskbar. So you can see here, it says taskbar, blur, transparency, color, and rounded corners. So we're going to choose this one right here. You can sync your settings right here, and you can blur the wallpaper under the taskbar if you want to by having these rocker buttons on. Give the taskbar rounded corners, and you can use the automatic color from the taskbar if you want to. I'm going to turn that off, and this will give me the pick a color option, so we can then choose our own color. So let's go ahead and we'll do that. And this is for your transparency. So I'm going to turn that off, pick a color, and we're going to use the same color that we have in our start menu. So all you need to do now is go back to your start menu and get the color number for that. So let me just quickly go back and get that, because I've forgotten it. And what we're going to do is go back to the start menu, go back to our configuration menu, and we're basically going to get our color right here on the customization. So it's not this one, it's the darker one that I used. So that's the color I want for my taskbar. There we go, 152.165.48. So that's the one we're going to be putting into our taskbar to match it up and make it sync for the same color. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right here. We're going to put in our number, which is 152.165 and 48. And you can see the color is now showing up, and it's exactly the same color. And now when we open this up, we should have all of this synced in the same color theme that we chose. Now, of course, you can choose any colors for your particular theme. This is not the color that I'm telling you to use. You can use whatever color theme that you like for your particular start menu and taskbar. But I think that looks pretty nice. And once you add all your icons and applications into those tabs, it's going to make your Windows 11 experience a lot more easier to use and better for you, because this start menu is way better than what Microsoft have offered you with Windows 11 start menu. And Start 11 will change your experience with Windows 11 and make your start menu usable once again. Anyway, I hope this has been useful. Let me know in the comments section what you guys think. My name has been Brian from briteccomputers.co.uk. Bye for now.